Hey guys, welcome back. Today we have a 2004 Honda CRV. Customer's complaint, no AC. They said all of a sudden it just kind of quit blowing cold. It's been to another shop a couple of times. I'm not exactly sure what they replaced on the AC system. I do see a blower motor resistor on the ticket, so I'm not sure if there's another ticket I'm not seeing from them. But I want to kind of walk you guys through my initial diagnostic procedure when it comes to a no cool complaint on a vehicle. And the first one is, let's just check it, see what kind of airflow we get, make sure we get airflow, make sure the AC light comes on, see if we hear the compressor kick on, and then we'll go from there. So we do have blower, it is blowing at high speed. My AC light is on. And I do feel a little bit of cool air coming out. And we do have good airflow, so I'm not suspecting a cabin filter or anything like that. Let's just turn the airflow down so we can listen for a second. I guess we're on max AC there. Okay, so I can hear the compressor kick in and out. So we know the blower's working at this point. We can hear the compressor kicking in and out. We don't really know what our pressures are. We had a little bit of cold air, but not as cold as it should be. So my next step is to, connect the AC machine and then look at our pressures. Now this vehicle's hot, so we can't really determine our static pressures accurately. Static pressure is the pressure that the refrigerant will equalize to based on temperature alone. If that pressure doesn't match the pressure temperature chart for what the current temperature is, say that pressure's up higher, then that's a good indication that there's something else in the system with the refrigerant, whether that be air or some other refrigerant that's not supposed to be in there, possibly hydrocarbons or some other substance that came in a blow can that somebody has put in there. But normally it's just air. And the air gets in there because if a system is empty, then more than likely it's full of air because it hasn't been evacuated down into a vacuum. System with zero pressure, they put a blow can on top of it. They've just stacked the refrigerant on top of the air that was already in that system. So let's grab the machine, let's connect it to our service ports under the hood and see what our static pressure is. So on this Honda, both our high side and low side service ports are over here on the passenger side. I took the caps off right there, connected both of my service couplers there, tighten down or set the knobs down to open up the valve cores. Let's see what our pressure is. Now keep in mind this won't be 100% accurate because we did pre-run the system. And we can see that here. So we can't check our static pressure. Our pressure here is slowly dropping. We're at probably 125, 130. Over here we're at about 80. Now if I left this sitting in here overnight and connected the gauges to it, or if the vehicle hadn't been run all day long and I didn't run the AC on the way in, then I would expect on a typical vehicle anywhere from 70 to 80 psi. In the morning I may have a little bit less than that depending on what the outside air temp is. So now that we have this connected, we can see that we have refrigerant in the system. Let's go ahead and start it up and see what our pressures are, because based on what our pressures are will tell us if the system is low or overcharged, or maybe we have a cooling fan issue and our high side gauge is going to go way up. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll just fire it up and check our pressures, and then that will lead us to the next step in our diagnosis. So right away I noticed that the compressor sounds a little noisy. I don't know if that's the compressor or the tensioner, but it seems noisy. Let's look at our pressures. So our low side is a little higher than I would expect it. We're around 45. Our high side is around 160. But look at this needle. This needle's bouncing around. I'm pretty sure that we have a problem inside of this compressor. Now both of our cooling fans were running. That's just one more thing I wanted to check. They are both spinning down now after I shut the vehicle off. Okay, it may be hard for you guys to see, but that compressor, the clutch part of it, is looking pretty toasty. And actually you may not be able to see that, but below it on the skid plate, are slivers of metal. I can see metal debris. More than likely this compressor is locking up at times and causing that clutch to overheat and send out metal shrapnel. On the AC hose up here in the front, let me see if I can point to it, right around there, we can see some oil that has been slung out of the front of the compressor, as well as maybe some thicker grease or sludged up oil. So yeah, this compressor's toast. This vehicle is going to need a whole kit. If the compressor is locking up, it is more than likely sent shrapnel through the entire system. The first place it's going to go is the AC condenser up front. Now these AC condensers are a microchannel parallel flow condenser. The passages are super small. You're not going to be able to get any debris out of that by flushing it, or very little. It's going to cause future issues if you don't replace it. So what we'll end up doing is estimating out a complete compressor kit with condenser. I'll probably change the relay on this. The Hondas are notorious for the relay sticking, and they will stick either on or they will not operate at all. So anytime I do a compressor on one of these, I replace the relay. It's probably 15 or 20 bucks, but it's a good insurance to prevent the battery going dead, the compressor from running itself to death, or the compressor not working at all. So we'll estimate that. We will flush out the evaporator core. There should be minimal debris that makes it that far, but we'll still try to flush that out, assuming that we can remove the expansion valve. If the expansion valve is inside the dash, then we will just flush the lines, we'll put it together, see how it operates. If we have any pressure concerns or issues at that point, then we'll have to pull the dash to replace that expansion valve and possibly the evaporator core. Now I could recover this right now, but I don't know what the customer is going to do. It is cooling a little bit, so they may just drive it for the rest of the summer and not worry about it till next year. But if I recovered this, it's probably going to be a little bit low based on that seal leaking on the front of the compressor. If I was going to sell another job on another vehicle, I would recover it if I didn't see any physical leaks, just to see how much is in there, because if I do find that the system is low, then that's probably what caused compressor failure, because a low system can't carry the oil throughout the system and the compressor will kind of chew itself up. So you need to identify those leaks so you can make sure you fix those at the same time as the compressor job. If I end up selling this job, I don't know if I'll have time to film the replacement or if I'll even be doing the replacement, but I will make sure to do a follow-up video just showing you guys the normal operating pressures when we're done and what the temperature is out the vent. Now I did just peek in behind the glove box and the cabin air filters look like they've just been replaced. So the other shop that did their oil change and the blower motor resistor more than likely replace the cabin air filters at the same time, and that's why we have good airflow out of the vents right now. If I had mediocre airflow, then I would definitely be pulling those cabin air filters out and physically checking them. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe, click the bell. Thanks for watching. See you next time.